gorgeous, and welcome to my 2021 Halloween special. As many of you all know, I have been doing some killer Boxycharm videos the past few years for All Hallows Eve, and this year is going to be extra ghoulish because this year I'm doing this as a second chance video. Some things may even get decluttered in here. I have been summoning my coven throughout the month, letting you know that this video is going to be hosting some possibly dreadful makeup that I may end up putting in my boob in because it is just not gaunting it for me. It is not making this witch feel spectacular. It's making me feel a little deadly. And as we all know, I am dying to have fun with my coven here, so grab your brew, grab your booze, and let's plan to have a sit-down, ghastly, ghostly, haunting, fabulous time with some Boxycharm Halloween makeup. Is it to die for, or is it just a nightmare? This is bound to be a long video, so be sure to grab your tricks and your treats because this is going to be quite a ride. Cheers! Right now I'm drinking my cold brew, but I have a feeling that this video is going to make me switch over to something a little more spirited in the near future. As I open my casket of makeup over here, I wonder how many things are actually going to stay, and other things I'm actually excited to see how they'll perform. I am wanting this to look good, so I'm going to do my very best to keep all of this in the best light possible. Let's hope there are no ghouls and goblins on our way. Before I turned on the portal that is the camera to go to the YouTubes, I did wash my face with two products that are pretty pricey. Might cost an arm and a dead man's leg, but they are really quality products. I washed my face this morning with the Laura Mercier Balancing Foaming Cleanser that Adam and myself do find gets all of the deadness off our face and makes us look vibrant and alive. And yesterday I had on some false lashes and they made me a little baddie. That's probably going to be in a fail video coming up very soon. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit the dead bell so you can be notified when all my videos come up so I can tell you about more booze and happy hauntings. This product, the Laura Mercier Soothing Eye Elixir that removes the many layers of makeup and glue off of my face, did a great job of getting a lot of the excess off this morning, anything that may have been left over from last night's slumber. And now to liven up this resting witch face, we're going to go into chapter 1 of our long Halloween saga. We will now be planning to raise the dead. Thing this witch needs to do to liven up this dead-looking face is start with a little vampire blood, or what the commoners call a juicy-looking, blood-dripping lip oil. This is a potion I enjoy each morning while I'm prepping my bootyful face for Boxycharm makeup. Not too sticky, not too slippery. Not like a toad that likes to go all over your face. She stays put. If you're wondering why my chest and shoulders are already glowing like a ghost, it is because I needed to add a little life to this dead corpse, and I used the Sol de Janeiro Sunset Glow Oil. She's having me glow like a full moon right here, so we need to have our face take on that spell, yes? So we're going to move on now to some skincare. An oldie but a ghoulie is one of my favorites that I'm sure you know would be in this video if we're going to be talking about treats. This is the beautiful Peach and Lily Glass Skin Refining Serum. How many of you witches have been with me long enough to have remembered when I first got this and couldn't shut up about it? This product brightens my skin unlike any other spell or potion I have tried previously. She makes me feel fabulous, and I had to use her this morning to set us up for success. Now, witches, we know to improve our resting witch face, we need to allow the potions time to do their magic, time to do their incantations. So now, we rest with our cold brew. To avoid being a basic witch, you all know I really did have to use the Frank Body Booty Drops in this video, right? We do. This is a product we're supposed to drop it like we're hot to really provide some plumping benefits. The way I have found I enjoy using this bootyful product is with this glowy ghost. This is the Exfoliate from Kate Somerville moisturizer that helps you to glow, but she's a pricey little bee. I believe she retailed for like 70 doll hairs, and I'm just like, why? What kind of magic potion newts warts do you have in here? I also learned that the warlock of the tiny house also loves this because I caught him using it one night and I was like, what's going on? He reminded me he likes to look bootyful too, so we're already about halfway done with this, so you can tell we enjoy it. Starting with some tricks to set up the treats for later. This is a thicker potion, so what I like to do is put just a touch on my finger and simply add a touch of the potion of the booty, mix it together. And I like to use this on the neck region here to really tighten. Too many nooses around my neck lately, you know? I also enjoy this near the boobies. Help prevent the creasing. This is a magic spell. Are my gourds distracting you? I also enjoy this potion. Boop, boop, boop. Combination on the legs. Specifically, my goblin thighs. Going to need lots of booty drops for this. Putting it with the glow potion over here does cut down on the brew smell because it definitely was mixed in a cauldron that has a strong coffee scent. That cuts down on the aroma. Okay, witches, I'm trying a new wand lately, and I thought this is a grand opportunity to find out if we can smooth out this witch's face. With this T-bar wand from Complex Culture. I'll put a spell on you, and now you're tightened. We're gonna lift you up, and now you're snatched. You're gaunt. You're glowing. Don't forget your morning chants, ladies. This is also a time I do my morning ghoulitudes. What am I ghoulishly grateful for? I'm grateful for my coven that hangs out with me every Halloween and every Sunday and Thursday on the occasion to talk about how we can get bootyful with a cauldron of candy and our spirits. We're defying gravity, witches, defying gravity. When we raise the dead, we really raise our spirits. You should do this incantation for about 5 to 10 minutes, or about the time it takes you to warm up some dead man's toes before we move on to our next step. Now I think we're ready to have some skelly fun in the next chapter. That's when we're going to mask the mummy. To mask all of these terrible pores on my face, I'm trying a product that may very well be in the boobin. This came to me in a Boxycharm and I had never heard of her. I had to look her up through the portal that is the Google, and I wasn't too impressed with what I found. Very minimal online reviews, and I believe this was a product through, what's that witch called? QVC? How do you all feel about the Georgette Klinger Primer? It's supposed to be for all skin types, and I remember her having a lot of witchy claims, and I personally felt like this baddie bee may have been extending the truth, because I have yet to see her do any magic to my face. The witch claims to blur imperfections and prepare skin for an all-day radiant finish with this intensely conditioning face primer. She's got hyaluronic acid, she's supposed to be hydrating, long wearing, cushions the skin, ensuring silky smooth makeup application that will not settle into pores. We know I have those. Fine lines, little bit, or dry areas, nourishing blends, so we shall see. I believe I've tried her a few times, but this witch was not impressed. Ooh. Runs out like a banshee, does she? Bit of a thicker formula than I remember. She spreads well. Oop. Penny's about to lose her marbles upstairs. There's a dog being walked in the neighborhood. Yep. Right on cue. Penny? No more? That bee is so witchy. That's actually funny. Bee witchy. I needed more booze, please. So I have now transitioned to a chillier spirit. And now, listening to that bee bark, I've been allowing my skin to settle. Penny? No more? Penny? This primer also claims on their website to depuff and smooth. That was the issue I believe I had, because I don't notice it smoothing these pores at all. It does make my skin feel a touch tacky, which is good for a foundation, obviously, but I don't know about that. So, because my pores are still looking a little deadly, I'm going to give myself a little treat because I am trying to make everything else look good, and the base makeup is really what's going to help set you up for the success we need. On All Hallows Eve, we can't have too many problems with our pores, so I am going to treat myself over here to the Touch and Soul No Problem Primer. This is something all of my witchy friends and I have discovered we really enjoy to mask this mummy's undeadly pores. Little dab will do ya. Use your dead man's toes or your own fingers, depending on what you have in your beauty space, to really press in and work that product nicely in your spooky spots that always maybe give you that trouble. The spell I like to cast while I am pressing this in is I like to say an incantation. Porius Phyllis. And then, be gone. Now, witch, be sure to rest. In between, all of these spells can really just suck the lives out of us. So be sure to take your rests and hydrate. Cheers. Ooh. While I am allowing my skin to do its magic, well, the skincare, do the magic on the skin, I just checked my telephone portal here to see if a new ColourPop order had shipped yet, and I just got the notification that that is flying its way to me in the next few days. So be sure to subscribe to come back and see more through this portal that is the YouTube, so you can see all of the new fantastic makeup, or I hope, have coming. I don't want more things to end up in the boo bin, because I am thinking this may end up in the boo bin. I have yet to see this actually do anything, but you know what? We need to see how the foundation applies. And I'm worried that this next thing that I'm going to be trying from Boxycharm is going to be a bit of a trick, not a treat. I have not historically enjoyed this, but that's why this is a second chance video. We are giving her a second chance to impress. Or get buried out back in the backyard. We shall see. To mask the mummy, the next thing we're going to be going into is this very high coverage Fenty foundation. This is the Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. The words soft matte leave me hopeful. However, many of us know she has been a little thick on the face, so I'm hoping I can spread this out and I've set her up for success with the base pieces. But first, I asked my coven very recently, how did you enjoy using this glow wand? This is the Tarte Shape Tape Glow Wand that had a lot of us in my coven a little stumped, honestly. Some of us thought this could be a great under eye brightener. However, I didn't find it to do much, so I asked my friends, tell me through the portal, what do I do with this? And these are some of the responses I got. Kathy said that she uses this as a highlighter, that it gives her a great glow. And she said it doesn't emphasize any of her bad areas, and a little goes a long way. Babyface said she also forgets about it as well. I will be honest, she's made it to the bottom of the bin. That's not good. Bridget says she uses the Tarte over her concealer to brighten up her look. So over the concealer, okay. So NV Nail Person says she likes a glowy base under her foundation. And that's how she's been using it, also as a subtle cream highlighter. Jessica said Tarte actually has a video advertising this and the Shape Tape where they recommend using the concealer and then covering that with the glow wand. So I'm hearing concealer first, then this. Oh, I think I was using it the other way. Okay. Melissa said she mixes her Tarte Glow Wand with the concealer. Okay. Okay. So what we'll do then is foundation and then concealer with this. Concealer, then this. Yes. Okay. I ran out of Toads, so today I'm going to have to use a booty blender. It's actually not a booty blender. It's the generic version. It's something else that is a spin-off of a booty blender. Either way, I need to go get this little beast wet. Hold, please. Hold. I believe this is a ColourPop booty blender. And when it comes to thicker foundations, I do find a nice wet booty blender does a better job at allowing things to spread evenly, maybe be a little less cakey compared to a brush or wand. I'm a little nervous about this. So what do, witches? Keep calm, carry a wand, carry on. We can do it. I'm gonna start with just a little, ooh. Is this witch a little too pale for me? This potion may need a little mixing in a cauldron. We shall see. 185 may be a bit too ghostly for this pumpkin-y face. So what I think I might do is just mix it a touch. Ooh, I may have a great spell for this. At least, let's hope. Something else I got from Boxycharm was the Pure 4-in-1 Tinted Moisturizer. I got a darker shade earlier this year because this witch isn't a vampire after all. I do like to have a bit of a pumpkin-y glow. So what I'm going to do is just put a little of this on here and see if that will help also with the texture and the finish. And it is a little different of a shade, but not much. This could just be a nightmare. We will see. Although I guess we could work with being a little bit more vampire-y, a little more pale versus being too much like a dark banshee. All right, Beauty Blender, do your magic. Ooh, this witch is looking a little too ghostly. This color may not work. I do usually use that Pure 4-in-1 with a darker foundation. I know some of my oily skin babes in the audience do love this foundation, so I have kept her in my collection hoping that she'll come around. Stick me in a castle and give me a script that says boo, because I'm concerned I'm looking way too pale. A little undead. Or just dead, just dead. Alright, I'm looking in my candied collection to see what I have in here that's a bit warmer. I've got to waken up and warm up this dead body here. Powders will help. No gourd. No gourd. The finish isn't bad as far as how I'm looking at the foundations. And I'm actually not too upset with how it looks other than the color. I'm gonna treat myself just a bit to my favorite potion I discovered in my last Halloween special. And if you really enjoy these videos, be sure to check out last year and the prior year because those were haunting, daunting specials as well. So I'm going to jump into just a touch this treat that I enjoy, the Natasha Denona Transform Matte Foundation. I love her. I wanted to hold off to adding this in until I knew how the finish was with this baby. And actually, I'm more impressed than I thought. It's just the color that isn't vibing with this zombie. So let's put on just a bit for color. I hope this doesn't add too much cakiness. I think having the wet booty blender helps. Rise from the dead, witch. Rise from the dead. I'm gonna creep it real with you. In the graveyard that is the Tampa, Florida area, it is still beastly hot outside. So I do probably still have more of a pumpkin glow than I will in maybe a month to 2 months. So that might be a time that this could work for me in the cold slumber that is winter here in Tampa, where it gets to be a balmy 60 and 70 degrees. Oh. So that might be when that product shines. Ooh. I just realized I forgot to use a little gremlin, but I don't think I like her very much. Do you all color correct? Is that a spell you do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? Because this witch cannot be bothered with that extra spell in the morning. I feel like this just already takes such a processing time anyway. The dragon booty is not something that has been working for me simply because she's a purple color correction, she's another step, and I don't really notice that it does any brightening or helping for me, and the wand that I'm actually going to be using today for that is the glow wand, so I guess we couldn't have done double duty anyway. This just may be in the boo bin for me. The dragon booty may need to go. So, the way I have these little gremlins in order, from what I've been reading, is concealer, then the glow wand. So I don't have any recent concealers from Boxy. I don't. So this is something that I got a while back from Boxy. That is a total treat for me. This is the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer that I personally find to be this witch's cup of tea. I enjoy using this. It helps with any creasing, covers everything. If you have a witch's wart, if you have a Frankenstein monster of a color, you can just make it all blend away. This is Glinda Good Witch's Potion, and I love it, love it. So I'm very happy, but I do know this is a very high coverage. But I'm supposed to do this, then this. So, deep breaths, witches, deep breaths. Let's just do a quick spell to get the concealer on. 1, 2, 3. So now we have the concealer on. I'm trying to not move this resting witch face because we can't be yelling at the children in the cages we're having for dinner later. Do not yell at the warlock in your house because right now we are trying to be smooth blended witches, not the Wicked Witch of the West, who definitely does not moisturize. So now we're going to take the glow wand from Glinda. Ooh. That is apparently all over the place. Oh no, do not make a reaction because your face will stick that way. Why is there a werewolf hair in my glow wand? Oh no. Oh no. Moving on, witches. Oh, I don't know how much to do. There is a lot on this wand. Oh, Harry Potter, help me. The color's pretty dark. Oh no. Oh goodness. Oh, okay, now we have to match. Oh golly. Oh, this might be a nightmare. Okay, I feel like I should move quickly. I don't know why, but I feel like I should. Okay. Under the eyes, on the lids. I don't know why I just did the lids. Oh. 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 Is that good or bad? Is that good or bad? Liven up the face. We don't want it to look too matte. I'm hoping this is going to be good. I'm actually not mad at what I'm visually seeing in person. I don't know if through the portal you can see, but I do see some luminosity in this area. And since it is such a matte foundation, and I did double matte foundation to try to get the coloration correct, oh, this could be good. This could be good. I'm just kind of pressing now a little all over from whatever's left. I'm not adding more or anything. Not going to get too crazy. Okay. Over the concealer, I'm not mad at this. This witch does not want to grab a broom and beat someone with it, so I think we're doing okay for the moment. So now, witches, just a reminder, no yelling, no face scrunching, no negative incantations, just positive mantras in this moment because we do not want to crease. We need to powder first. So I have some magic dust here that I'm really hoping is going to be beautiful. This is the Beauty Bakery Oat Translucent Powder. I don't get to use this much, and I think it's just something that hasn't really impressed me. I'm hoping to howl over this. Grab your wand, pick up the magic powder. Pray to Elphaba that this works. Doing a bit of a packing, pressing motion. Glinda thoughts. Glinda thoughts. Are you a good Glinda thoughts. Or a bad witch? Oh, honey, I just took a DNA test, and I am 100% that witch. I'm mostly focusing this on the areas where I know my face can crease, it has a little bit more mobility, and then I'm just kind of also dusting wherever else, like on the cheeks and things like that. Whew. Now we just sit here and do a little bit of an incantation to bake, bake, bake. Let the powder do its job, try to move very minimally. This is where we do our mannequin pose. Beautiful. For my drier witches in the audience, this may frighten you. But be prepared. This oily witch has done this before. I want to try more this Lorac Soft Rose Powder because I'm still undecided if this powder is a dupe for the Becca powder that you all know this witch craves for, that finishing powder that smooths, that gives you that inner luminosity, that makes you look like Galinda the Good Witch even if you're having a bit of a wicked day. So we do the incantation. Tap, tap, tap. Wands up. Swish, swish, swish. Dab, dab, dab. Tap, tap, tap. Press, 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 press. Don't worry, witches. It's not amateur hour. I've done this before. We're letting the powder sink into the skin. We're allowing this to make the rest of the makeup become one with our face. The YouTube land can give you a trick letting you think that all of this makeup magic happens in 15 minutes, but we all know the truth. The blending and the layering and the application is part of the spell. I'm still undecided if this powder really does what the other one does. Not sold yet, and I still feel a little ghastly ghostly up top. Also honestly not sure how I feel about this flower setting powder yet. She may be in a boobin. I'm still not convinced that she is pixie dust that this witch needs. Do I have some of its undead on my tunic? Before we move on to the next haunting chapter of our story, there is one last step to masking this mummy before we can move on. We're going to be trying more things that this witch isn't necessarily in love with, because this is a second chance haunting video. We've done the Fenty foundation. Now we're going to see what it do with the Fenty Makeup Refreshing Spray Mist. Now at this point too. Again, allow all of the makeup to become one. Do your work, your magic. What it do it. Do it. Really do it. I do like the mist on this. This witch doesn't need to be so dewy, Boxycharm. If this witch had a treat that she would really like to see from Boxy/Ipsy in 2022, it really would be to see a little Urban Decay all-nighter in her box, because that setting mist, setting spray can just really allow this witch to ghoul all night long, all day long, in the heat, in the chill. I can do anything with that. A lot of the face sprays we get from Boxy are very dewy, and I am already oily. I already glow like a ghost. Now, while the makeup sets, while everything becomes one, we go on to our next chapter. We're going to be taming the wolf brows. This is the part of our saga that I'm concerned is all going to be going in a boobin. Don't know where to start. Alright, so I have some options for these furry monsters. We've got the Rowan Beauty pencil that's in the shade Dark. That really just goes to the depths of the dark side, because this ghoulish monster looks like she's very gray toned and she doesn't look good in person. I noticed when I used her through the portal here on camera, it didn't look as bad or as deadly on these brows, but in person, oh, so I guess I could do this today. With this tint brow, I'm just so worried that my werewolf brows are going to take over the screen, and that's all you're going to see the rest of this video, because she is a beast. I also have some older mellow brow products to maybe help marry and blend things if I need her. She's on deck. Back into the brow. She blends okay because I've got enough furriness there and hairy monsterness that you don't see it maybe as much, but it's definitely such a cool tone that she's looking like we're aging this witch. And I'm sorry, but oh, I don't need that. I need a spell to make this witch look younger, not older. 'Tis firm as stone, as one of my sisters has said. Oh, and then she broke. This is not a treat, this is a trick. This just does not look good in person. After seeing how it looked through the portal, I thought maybe I was too harsh on it, but it's because through the portal you don't really see the Casper grayness through this. Oof. This is even making me sound like a wolf. Oof! Isn't as dark as my browy soul, so it is looking very gravestone. That's the shade. Gravestone. It is not going well. Tell this to stop sucking my blood and move on to something a little darker for our souls. This is more of a chocolatey shade, which is like chocolate on Halloween too. It's not just for the kitties. I was just thinking my skin was feeling sticky, tacky, and I just noticed the creasing going on my lids, and I did powder there too. What in the Frankenstein monster? Why, after all that powder, am I still so tacky sticky? This mellow toadstool has helped the brows a touch, but now we may be messing them up because we're going to go into this tint brow product that really makes the monster come out of everyone. The reviews for this were not good, and my review on it wasn't good, so let's see. I have a paper towel on hand to do some more wiping of the wand, because there may be too much potion on here to try to get a natural looking brow, or a brow that doesn't look like it's about to eat someone. Let's try that. Oh, 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 oh gosh. Oh no. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, now we've committed. Someone commit me. I don't know why I did this again. Alright, I need another spoolie to get some of the product pushed through, wiped off. I'm gonna tell you what this is. This is some boo sheet. Well, which could make this work? This is not pleasant. I don't know how this is going to fully look through the portal, but in person, oh, it looked like Frankenstein's monster. It just looks awful. I can't make this work. It's dead to me. I'm gonna have to mix a lot of potions to fix this. It's so sticky. Like I'm trying to use something else that I know works better just to try to blend and match finishes, and oh my golly. Let's close out this chapter because we all realized that this was just dead to me. So now we're going to be moving on to chapter 4. Let's get gaunt. To start the gauntness that's going to be this skelly fun, I'm still feeling a touch tacky, so I'm gonna trick and treat myself into this amazing product. This is something from Fenty I know I like, which is a rare blood type for sure. This is the Fenty Pro Filter Powder in the shade Cashew that many of my coven know is a staple in this witch's morning routine. Since this powder is so finely milled, I'm going to take this across the face to hopefully help with some of this tackiness. It's also going to give just a touch of a warm-up, which we clearly need. This is also an extremely smooth powder that really makes the skin look like you sucked the lives out of some little children to regain your youth. I adore it. This powder did not do such a good job at making the creasing stay gone. On the eyes, you can definitely see the creasing continues to grow. So I'm going to just spread it down again with the Booty Blender. And I'm even going to just take a touch of this powder. Set down the windows to the sole with that now, no matter how dark it may be. Carve this just a touch. Oh, the finish this powder gives the skin is just divine. This is a much better canvas to move on to since we are now attempting to gaunt our face like some skeletons, but with a palette that many of my witches don't enjoy. I have two things in front of me that I'm really doing a second chance with here, and one of them is this Cab Cosmetics Contour Volume 1 palette. I was pretty unimpressed with the shade range in this, also the way that this powder applies, the way it lasts. This has just not been the spell that's worked for me, but there are some things I haven't tried. I know this banana powder is something some of you have just told me is beautiful. I need to give this the old witchy try, so let's go into this banana powder on a clean brush here. Let's see how she does. I honestly don't know if I see anything. Okay, there she is a bit more. I know suntan is a bit too much of a pumpkin. Let's try some caramel. I do enjoy caramel candy. Oh, look at all that undead falling off. Die. It is a bit more red toned and warmer than I usually enjoy for a contour. I tend to like a little bit of a cooler contour, but we don't really have that option here. Since the foundation was so ghastly and pale, maybe this will help balance. Ladies, don't forget. How do we say it? Wands up.
Double, double, chin is trouble. Blend it away with lots of creamy contour.
Take her all the way back and carve completely for that chiseled jaw look that apparently TikTok keeps telling us we need. All right, here's going to come the real test. I still need to contour the nose. I use a special wand for this. And I'm almost concerned to go into caramel simply because she's a bit too warm. So maybe I'll go into sand. Oh, this witch is nervous. The nose can really make or break a witchy look. I'll be honest, this brush has not been washed, so it still has some of my cooler toned powder on it as well, so I'm hoping that helps a touch. We'll go into raw and vanilla bean, just a touch here with the flat side. It's like carving a jack-o'-lantern, only with your face. We're going to be highlighting. I'm less annoyed with this than I was the first time around. However, I'm pretty sure what I remember is that I didn't wear all day. I'm a little pleased with what I'm seeing. I'm not saying I'm super happy. It's not like it's my Tarte Chisel palette, because that palette is to die for. This palette is... I'm lukewarm on it. I mean, the body's not cold. It's not completely dead yet, but this is a big baby, and I really don't like the color story in here, but at least I can see, since my foundation was so pale, this has maybe warmed me up, given me some life again. Okay, now let's move on. I'm going to go into a palette I have not touched in a really long time, and I remember talking about this in my last Halloween special. This is the nesting bee face from Pretty Vulgar. Look at these bronzers and look at some of these blushes, and we've got some highlighters. I remember enjoying this at some point, but it fell off my radar and I didn't use it anymore. So the question is there a reason? Is it a dead man's toe? Do I need to take it out back and bury it with the rest? Or is this something worth remembering? To continue to hollow out this witch's face, let's go into Son of a Bee. I feel like this was already more of a bronzer than a contour, so let's see how things progress. I do like how this lays and you can build it. Sometimes this witch likes to accent her bones. So I'm also going to be going into this product here and a touch of Sun-Kissed Snitch. Do a little bit of bone contouring. Let your inner skeleton come out sometimes, witches. You deserve it. Are we looking snatched? Almost. We have to do a little bit of blush. Apparently blush is having its season. So during spooky season, it's only right that we also pull out some of the pinkish, lively looking things so we don't scare all the little children in the neighborhood, I guess. All right. Let's go into Hush Blush. Live in the face. We're live. Pretty lively. We've got some highlighting palettes over here that need to impress or go back to the crypt from which they came, because we've got the Beauty Bakery Honey and Milk palette, which is nice. However, I find it to be extremely subtle, and by subtle, I mean she's practically transparent. I don't even see her when she's on my face. Also, who remembers that witch named Laura Geller? How many of you really enjoy some of her products, and how many of you think they should go in the boo bin? Tell your friend. If you're here for the booze, have a sip. This is newer to my collection, and I do believe that it came from a different box, but not a Boxycharm, from a Chic Beauty box. So I'm still trying to decide how I feel about this, so I thought it was fitting we put her in this video, because Shimmer and Sparkle from this Illuminator Duo Heart of Gold palette are really, trying my patience. let's go into this golden shade and put it on the bones. We're gonna come over here into this smoother golden shade and apply accordingly to my bones. This one shade in this duo palette is gonna be what ends up making me keep it, isn't it? Because look at how golden delicious that is. And that's not an apple. That's my shoulder. I once had one of my sisters eat a poisoned apple. It was terrible. We're not gonna get into that. Now let's move on to the face, see which ones we want to use. Let's be sweet this Halloween and see how this applies. How do we feel about it? Ooh, oh no. Okay. Maybe I applied too much, but I can see a ton of texture in person, which is not as creamy because this shade looks like she could be from my girl, Becca, who is unfortunately, RIP, no longer with us and has gone to the other side. We will miss her, but we will still celebrate her in this booty space because I have backups upon backups of Champagne Pop. She looks like she wants to be Champagne Pop. I wanted her to be Champagne Pop for my friends out there. But unfortunately, it is not. She is a poor man's imitation. Oh no, I mean, can you see? Oh, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but the texture right here does not look nice in person. Oh no. Just using a fluffy brush with nothing on it to hopefully spread upward a bit and hopefully get rid of some of that. Probably not gonna happen. I just don't know about this one. I either think she doesn't do enough, which, like, already just me doing that dusting of nothing with my brush made that all diffuse a ton, but I do see texture, and I never see texture when I use some of my favorites. Beauty Bakery is something I had been really wanting in my booty space, but so far I'm just not impressed with how it applies to the face, how it looks on the face, how it wears the finish because of the texture. Ugh. Let's move on to the next chapter, shall we, where we need to bat our eyes. I'm gonna be honest, we have quite a bit of product in front of me, and we're not going to use it all. We couldn't possibly, unless we were a monster with like 6 eyes. You ghouls are so lucky that have that option, but I am a witch merely with 2. So I'm going to start with a priming product that I remember not enjoying the application, but it helped with the products on top. So let's give this the old witchy try again and go into this Pinky Rose Hip Hop Primer that is a cream base for our lids. Which remembers correctly, what I need to do is put it on a digit. Sometimes a dead man's toe works better than your own digits, but sometimes you can just use what you have. I remembered applying it directly to the eye did not work well, so I need to put it on my finger, actually draw the product on the finger, and then apply it to the lid for a base. I do like how opaque this is. I like how it's making my whole lid look like a washed out Casper. Yes, you can see how it's really making it a nude base. I've been specifically saving this palette for this video because, unfortunately, Miss Laura, this palette has not impressed quite a few of us. This is her Casual Collections palette. There are a lot of gray, neutral tones in this palette, which technically should be perfect for this time of year. However, I do not find that she actually builds pigment. I don't find that she applies, blends, or lasts. You know, just the things that a shadow should do. Who is outside making all of that ghastly noise? Ugh, the mortals, please, please excuse the mortals outside. They're all a ruckus this time of year. I'm gonna take my fluffy brush and go into this basic nude shade. We're not a basic witch, we just need a basic shade to lie down on top of this primer. Ooh, ooh, she fluffs. Oh, she flies. She flies all over your face. Flies all over your clothes, all over your cloaks. She does pack a punch on top of that primer though. Now let's go into a transition shade. There is this nudish, grayish tone here. Oh, the fallout. Can you see this? So usually fallout doesn't mean it's gonna fall off your face. Usually fallout means it's a very pigmented shadow, and it's going to really blend and last well on your lids. In theory, and historically with products like Anastasia Beverly Hills, that's how it works. I think I have dipped into this palette 5-6 times now, trying to build up this color in my crease. And she's not doing so well. Maybe this color just isn't for me. Maybe I should move it along to something else. Maybe we should go into something a little deeper. Oh, the undead are piling up in this palette. Can you see that? Wow. Barely touch it. She should be more pigmented than she is then. Blend, blend, blend. If you ever get some dead falling on your face, get a fluffy wand and whoop it away. Whoop. You have to make that noise or it's not going to work. Whoop. Oh, I cannot get this product to be smooth. Can you see how my crease is looking jaggedy? Can you see how it's starting to look like it cannot be smooth? So I am seeing some primer issues because up here in the crease, I'm really struggling to have anything blend here because of what was laid down originally. So that primer may not be one for this witch's skin type. And I'm starting to think this shadow palette is also not my type either. It's sucking the life out of me as I'm trying to blend some color in here, and it is so patchy. Having to go bolder than I meant to just to try to get some blend pigmentation. This may be as blended as this is going to get. I have been sitting here for a while blending with a wand that does a glorious job most of the time. So I don't think it's the brush. I think it's the shadow. I think the primer might be aiding in it, at least on the inner corners, but even the outer corners and the crease are not doing a very good job. So as we suspected in a previous video, this palette is going in the boo bin. Its undead is all over my gourds. Would it really be a Halloween video if it didn't have a little controversy? There was a line of palettes going around that we were all excited about in Boxycharm, and it was from the witch Natasha Denona. She is a high priestess. We give her the most respect. However, about half of my coven got palettes that we were really concerned were hexed. They were not good, and they weren't performing as some of our other coven's palettes had. So we started to wonder, was there an issue with maybe churning out a special batch of magical palettes that it just, some got pressed correctly, some didn't. You know, it is still a conspiracy theory at this moment. However, what an opportunity to try again on camera the Peak palette. I know so many of my witches adore this palette, and I also know a good number of us found it to be very lackluster. So we were wondering if there was something about trying to get out so many palettes so quickly that maybe there was an issue in manufacturing. I would really like to try to smooth out this crease. So I'm going to touch in here just a little bit with this palette and see. Can she save it, or is it going to get worse? Fluffy brushes are amazing for the crease to really diffuse, blend shades. So I'm hoping this will at least help liven up this look. Even just a new color tone is already helping so much. I believe the colors that really were a struggle for me were more the pinker tones, but I do remember this shade being difficult with an outer crease, outer corner moment. Well, anything's got to be better than that Laura Geller though, so the bar's a little low. Well, I'll say this, at least even a hexed Natasha palette is still significantly better than that Laura Geller palette. With a fluffy brush, she does better. It's more these precise moments with this that it really sheets the bed. But for a fluffy crease moment and an under eye moment, I think we can make it work. Let's not smash any pumpkins here, but let's try some of these Halloween looking Smashbox liquid shadows. Let's do a little swatching to see which one's gonna work better. These honestly feel a little old. I could be wrong, but the formula and what I'm seeing inside of the tube here looks kind of aged. Was this also in a chic beauty box? I'm not sure. But since this is worthy of finding out, is this worth keeping? May as well put it on the lids and see. I think we're gonna need to go with this darker brown shade here. This is called Always On Metallic Matte. Ugh. I'm thinking this is old product. You know, the more I'm looking at the chunkiness and being able to see in the tube and how dry it looks, the more I'm rethinking this whole thing. This is gonna be a booper. It's a booper. And we're just gonna put this in a special boo bin. Moving on, we do have some other options for a topper for the lids here. Should we alphabet up this look with this green shade here? That's awfully pretty. We just go in with it. Go with your instincts, witches. Go with it. This applies really easily. That just packed a lot of punch. There was so much pigment, I didn't even need to do any work to it. This witch might be satisfied. So we're not here until you're dead. Let's do a little magic to get the eyes completed. Okay, so we have the eyes done. I used, just so you know, Jalee's Beauty Stamp and Liner. I still think this is a witchy-tastic time. I love the witch hack to get the wing going because not all bats can fly. Sometimes you need a special wing and freehanding the wing sucks. I really don't mind the liner either. I am wearing the Monarch Lash Pack that is in the style Baby Girl. It's the angled lash, and I can tell you I've worn these probably a good 5-6 times, but I don't know how many more times they have left in her. I'm used to lashes that kind of last at least a while, and these are really getting finicky to apply, and I've tried to pull off some of the glue that holds it together, and I'm just not sure she's gonna make it. But now I am ready to move on to the final chapter of our horror Halloween story. Let's make it love at first sight with our lips and bite me. For any witch that needs a little hack to make her pout a bit more plump, a spell you can cast is to take a pencil and surround the perimeter of the lip. Do you look like you ate a chocolate frog? Maybe a little. But then what you can do is blend her down just a touch. Go in with your favorite liner to match whatever lip shade you're about to do. But go right inside of the lines that you had done with the brow pencil. Now what we're gonna do is go in with a treat, because next is gonna be a trick and I'm not sure how this is all going to come together. The treat is the Huda Beauty Demi Matte Liquid Lipstick that's gonna go on the top of the liner. This is in the shade Day Slayer, and doesn't that just sound vampy? It's actually a gorgeous nude. I personally let the liquid lipstick go up and over where that darker brow liner was, so then it just looks like that is the edge of your lips, and it gives you that extra essence, that extra pout to be able to suck the lives out of all the little children all night long on Halloween. We are looking almost ready to go out on the town on Halloween, but I have one more trick up my sleeve. At least I hope it's a treat and not something that's going to be awfully tricky. This is a Marc Jacobs gloss that definitely screams Halloween, because if you can see, it has iridescent properties of green, orange, red, all of the different autumnal hues in the shade Changes. I never pull this out unless it is the fall time, and I have yet to pull it out at all this season. So let's see how she lays on top of Day Slayer. Ooh, this is quite a spell. I honestly thought this was going to be horrid. I've only seen this over the top of more of an orange lippy, so seeing it over this gorgeous nude has me extra ghastly excited for all of the plumpness that you can see, but it actually is a touch deeper, kind of goes with the eye look, is definitely a little bit more vampy. Who are we biting? Who are we biting? As this Halloween special begins to come to a close, there's one more thing I have to put on before I can get to my boob in and the things that really were delightful. I don't know if this is gonna make me too glowy like a ghost or if it's going to actually look nice. This is the Dewy Setting Mist from Anastasia, and honestly, I've had this in a bottom drawer for a while because quite frankly, she's really dewy. So let's do our final spray down with this mist, see how she does, and then we're going to conclude this video with some boo bins, final thoughts, and what's getting decluttered. Ooh, don't want to do too much. All right, witches, here we go. Okay, Bootyful friends, what is to die for? What is a nightmare? We are now to the conclusion of our story, and I think we've got some haunting products in here, but we also have some products that have made this face... Okay, Bootyful, now that we've come to the end of our Halloween story, we can now look and see what is in the boo bin. A haunting is taking place in my tiny house. I feel like at the end of these videos, that's always when I feel like possibly I have summoned some type of digital demon. I don't know. Google will not stop talking. Every time I've tried to complete this video and tell you guys where we're at the end of our long saga, she starts talking and she starts telling me things she's looked up when I have not spoken to her. What is her problem? Now that we're at the end of our Halloween tale, what lands itself in the boo bin and what has become to die for? We knew that this was coming. Let's go through the final moments of this look to decide what is to die for and what is just a nightmare. Truthfully, I don't know if this Georgette Klinger primer actually does anything. It does make my skin feel tacky, but like I mentioned, it stayed tacky even after a powder down. Is this the little monster that did it, or was it something else that we used that really may not be a favorite? I'm not sure, but I don't think this did much for me, and it's unfortunately in my boo bin. Something that this witch just can't seem to make work in her morning rituals as she gets her face together is this Dragon Beauty color corrector. I couldn't even be bothered to remember it today when it was a day I had it on deck on my desk to use. Not only does this go in my boo bin, but I do believe this is going to be decluttered. Mostly because I keep forgetting about it, I don't use it, and if I were to need one, I don't think purple is the shade I'd need to color correct. I think I would need more of a green tone. I am a little bit more elphaba like that. So, in the bin it goes. While I want to say this next product is definitely in my boo bin, I don't think I'm quite ready to declutter it just yet. With a more natural look, approachable look, I think I'll try this flower powder again, but I'm going to do it with a little less makeup and see how my skin looks after. I did notice I had a lot of creasing under the eyes and on the eyes after powdering down, and I was still really tacky. I was still really sticky. Again, was it the primer? Was this not doing its job? I need to play with them on different days potentially, but it still goes in the boo bin. It still did not impress me, and I have some loose powders that really hit home for me. So this, unfortunately, is not one. Ghouls, I don't think there's any other way to say it. This product may be the worst product on my face today that I could not fix with a magic spell. There was no elixir. There was no potion to fix my hairy monster brows after using this tint product. This tint brow and lash really has not performed well. The mascara is only subpar. I've tried this several days, and this brow product I have now tried at least 3 to 4 times and never has this worked. I used a little powder potion in between takes just to try to get things to look a little less splotchy, a little less bold, a little more approachable, but this witch just cannot do it. So unfortunately, not only does this go in my boo bin, but quite frankly, this witch doesn't have the real estate to just keep hoarding things to hope they get better as they oxidize and age better. So, you guessed it, it's going in its final resting place. Take a sip of your booze. We may need it to get through these last few moments of our time together. This product is also going to be going in my boo bin. While I'm not quite ready to bury her out back with the others, I think this one is just something that will only work for me on possibly a natural day. But to be honest, as my decluttering series continues through the rest of this year, this may disappear. This is the Beauty Bakery palette that I know some people truly love, and it breaks my heart that this just never performs well for me. I don't ever really enjoy it on the face. I've not really enjoyed the finish of it. And like I said, the shades that I keep reaching for are things that, my dear departed Becca, I have in my collection that are superior to this. This is a little bit of a toad compared to the high quality that I have in very similar shades that I would much rather reach for. And these lighter shades, I can't imagine when this witch would need them personally. So this may not make it through the year, unfortunately. Witches, I really feel like sometimes you get a home run with these indie brands that could be amazing, and unfortunately, Pinky Rose Hip Hop Primer did not perform well for me again. I've tried it once before and thought it was decent. However, I learned the hard way you cannot use it on the lids. It is too much of a firm product, and you can't get it to spread. It doesn't blend. I had to draw it on my finger, press it across the lids, and even then, it didn't seem to help the shadows at all. So this is in my boo bin, and it's met its demise. The eye look was saved, but unfortunately, the product to overcome today was, unfortunately, Laura Geller's palette. This has not performed for me several times, and quite honestly, I forgot I had her after getting her and deciding I didn't like it a lot. And some of my coven have said to me, oh, you just reminded me I even had that. Guess I won't miss it if I forgot I had it. So, Laura, while we have respect for many of your products, this one, unfortunately, is going 6 feet under. I must say, I am being a very ruthless witch today, but I really have overload in this tiny beauty space, and the intention of this video was to declutter, and there is more to go. The good news is I got 2 of these Rowan Brow, vow, something rhymey that I don't know, pencils. Vow brow. I'm not marrying you. This is a moment that I'm going to be breaking that vow, because this dark shade is too gray toned for me. I think in camera and editing, you can't see it as much as maybe this chunky monkey in the brows at the moment from the tint product that is no more. We shall not speak its name. But this is something that I don't really like. I even thought maybe I would use it maybe to do that special lip trick I just showed you with a different product. But no, it's too thin. It's also too firm. 'Tis firm as stone, and is too much of a tugging motion on the brows, and it pulls out hair, but also around the lips it's just not worth it. This trick is no more. If there's a boo bin, there's also a meh bin, and the Cab Cosmetics falls in the meh. It's not great. It's not exciting. It's also not very complimentary with the shade range. However, today it had a redeeming moment where I was able to get the look back with this product because a foundation did us dirty. Actually, it did us deadly because my whole face was pale as a ghost. And this did help. I did like how the product laid on my skin. I did like some of the features. So while I'm not positive this will make it to the end of the year, at the moment, she lives to see another day. But it could only be one. Speaking of this Casperly foundation, I am more impressed with the formula, not the color, but the formula than I remembered. I think the way I used it today worked well, and I'm actually pretty pleased with how my skin looks. So this is definitely going to stay in my collection, and hopefully, as the season's cool, I can use her again. And let's talk for a moment about the thing that you all gave me the tips on. Tarte Glow Wand. Thank goodness for my witches in the audience to help a sister out when the wand starts to need some support. The under eyes today look much better. So obviously the way you apply makeup can sometimes affect what works and what does not. So I will absolutely Did I get gloss on my fangs? Be trying this again as the season continues. So thank you, witches, for your support and help with this potion. Something else that's going in my bin is the Laura Geller Duo Highlighter because of the bones on the collar at the moment. This highlight looks great. The golden shade is lovely. It's just half of this palette is essentially non-existent to me because the glitter is too much for this witch. But for the moment, this lives to see another day. But if I find something else in my collection that I already own that I like, that doesn't have something deadly attached to it that could replace it, this may go this year too. Nesting Bee actually surprised me. I forgot about her. I think she ended up on the bottom of a bin. So now I'm happy to have rediscovered her. These lashes may only last a touch longer, but let's talk about the High Priestess for a second because she did redeem herself a bit, but the bar was set really low. The Natasha Denona Peak Eyeshadow Palette, some of you guys love, and I know some of us have really had a struggle with. I'm pleased how she helped save the eye look on All Hallows Eve because when an eye look goes bad, it could go bad quickly. At least she had a redeeming sense in her, which is why she is still in my booty collection. Some of the superior products that were absolute treasures and treats throughout this video. You've heard me talk about her a ton this year. This is the Pro Filter from Fenty Beauty. The cashew shade saved my face earlier today when it was still too tacky to want to move on with other powders with. This saved it. Friends, I wish I could tell you that I loved this Lorac as much as I do the Becca, but she's not outshining her for me yet. So I'm going to keep trying her. She's really in no danger yet of being decluttered, but she's definitely on my radar. I knew the Huda Beauty lip was bootyful, but I have to tell you, the Changes gloss on top of the nude lip really surprised me, and I feel like this is a new way to use this gloss that honestly I haven't touched in many, many moons. So I'm so happy to say I rediscovered this through this video with you. Rare Beauty also did a great job, and so far I'm really happy with the way the green tone on my lid is performing and lasting, because this has been a long video behind the scenes to film. And finally, I have to say this ABH Dewy Setting Mist has not performed negatively. Now, keep in mind, I have a ton of powder on, a ton of makeup on. So on a natural day, I don't know if this would work for this oily witch. But right now, I am not displeased with this. So she's not going in the fancy garbage can just yet. But I'm keeping an eye on her. She's on my witchy radar. Also, a little baddie wing special mention too. Giselle Beauty for giving this witch a hack to get her wing done quickly. I have had a fantastic time hanging out with my coven here on All Hallows Eve. Thank you so much for watching, and if you happen to be new to my coven, hi new friends. I really hope you take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button, the red one. It's blood red, down below, so you don't miss out on the rest of this declutter series that is coming, because some of these things are on deck. And don't forget to hit the dead bell so you don't miss out on future uploads. Bye, ghouls!